Okay. Hello, everybody. So I am between my speech and the lunch. I really hope you will survive some more minutes, okay? Veronika Grozdanovska, coming from Novotek, home office right now, but home country, Sweden. Innovation, what is that? A question I get often. It's really all about making sure that we are going forward with whatever thing we do, wherever we are. I started in 1993, computer science degree, building SCADA for factories. Why did I do that? Passionate about information, love people, and how can we bridge it together? And this is all what we are talking about today. Do we have what we need to bring us to the future of manufacturing? I've heard many speeches. I think some of our customers and some of our companies already are there, but we have so much to do in the industrial world. So let me think about a future. We all today, how many times did you actually open your mobile today and really looked into some apps, looked for information? I came yesterday from Copenhagen to Finland. I was Googling around a little bit. I've been in Finland many times before, but nevertheless, I go and I Google. I love Google. And I really look everything about Finland. You can pick and choose whatever you want to read. Energy crisis, COVID pandemic. How many of you did you really go and look into all analytics we got? I mean, we could read how many people were dying. We can read energy prices. We can do everything as a consumer of data today in our private life, right? So we are getting it when we want, how we want it. Do we really have the same experience in our factories? Do we really have exactly the same feeling that we get information whenever we want, whatever we want to take decisions about? I would not say we have that. And if anybody disagrees, please come and meet me during lunch and tell me that we are really having that. What is more happening in the world today? We have a workforce transformation. We have young people coming in. Unfortunately, not too many young people want to work in factories today. I have 2 daughters. It took me a while to explain for them that actually it is cool to be in the industrial world. And they're like, what's cool about that? You're walking around in factories. What is cool about that, mother? It is. We are producing things. We are really doing magic. Yes, we do. On the other side, we also have a generation, myself, I'm not that young, but anyway, I want to access everything, anytime, anywhere, whatever I need should be there. This is something some of us are using already because we have the tools, we have the technology. Still, it's not enough. Another thing that is driving all of us, some guys before me spoke about the sustainability goals. How can we even think about meeting any goals if we don't really think end-to-end operations? What does it matter if you know how much water you're wasting when you're producing chocolate, if you don't do anything else with that except that you know that you produce that much water? So sustainability will really drive us into what I keep talking about, one single source of truth. That's really something we all will need to live and breathe even more than we do today. So, walking around since 1993 in so many factories around the world, I really see that we have moved in a great direction, but we are still struggling. I read a lot of articles, a lot of reports, just to see what's happening out there. And this is a very interesting article. You should really check it up. You should read the article. It's absolutely an eye-opener. Yes, we do capture data. Yes, we do. Yes, we do have a lot of storage. Of course we do that. And we can access data. I mean, I'm not saying that we cannot do that. But what are we really doing with that? We create the report for the sustainability government or whoever needs the report. What do we do after that? Do we have some people sitting there and really looking at why are these numbers like that? What can we do? What decisions can we take? Do we communicate this data to every stakeholder in our company today so they can be more clever and more wiser? We are not. This article is really scary because it absolutely points the fact that we are in the industrial world today, we are generating so much data and we are really not using it. Absolutely not. Which is really actually fantastic because we have so much we can improve, right? So looking into the 2 topics that I absolutely want you to leave today and think about data and people. Today, we want to scale. One factory is it's not so many factories that have only one site. We have several sites. We have several departments, right? Production is really a complex situation. Why can we not scale? Because we are not really speaking the same language. We are not using the data. The interoperability is not where it should be. What do we do more that is really not helping us? We are spending so much time, really, to move data. We really have, if you go into whatever company today and you see in the production line how people are actually working, how many hours to really move the data from one system to the other. We are hiring data scientists, a fantastic role, very hard to find in every country we're working with, very expensive. What do? Hey, do some analytics, and they get tons of data that have no clue what it's all about. The data is wrong, it's bad, they need to clean the data. We are not using their skills for what they should do. How many of you have already your data in the cloud? I mean, we are working so much with our cloud providers. They are our biggest partners. And I should not say this, but the fee that they're actually sending to the customers today is quite exploding. This is not going to help us, right? Of course, then we have, in our world, we talk about OT, IT, we talk about production data, information data. I've been to so many meetings. Next week, we have a big workshop. We are bringing OT, IT people together. They really don't speak the same language. Absolutely not. Even if they've been working in the same company for 20 years, they still don't understand each other, which is really scary when you think about it. And then, of course, security. How many of you, yes, we do have hacker attacks. I know it's all around us right now. How many of you are really thinking where and who should be responsible for the security? Is it IT? Is it production data? The fact is, it's getting to us from every possible angle. So these are the challenges. Another thing that is really also showing up, coming from an old time when I was starting up, it was simple, it was point solutions. You make sure that your operator is really looking into the SCADA. That was pretty simple. Today, if you look into all systems that we need to connect, behind each and every of this system, we have people. Behind each and every system, we have technology and we have data. But who says that we are talking with each other? It's so much silos. I put that in my introduction words for this event. I think we have never, ever in the past have so many silo thinking like we have now, because it really forces us to be a little bit more like that. And then on the other side, all the challenges we get, it's already what I was talking about. Somebody before me was showing the people, process, technology, data in the middle. This is absolutely what I believe it. It's really an orchestration of all that. Why? Because you do have challenges. You do have integration challenges. We have old devices, old systems that needs to go with new systems. Where do we put the security risk level? We do have data challenges, as I said before. Who is owning the data strategy in your company today? Everybody, every department, one department, the CDO, a new title that came up some years ago, are they owning the data strategy? And absolutely, as we said, do we really have the context to the data? When the device puts up number 1, does that number 1 mean Celsius, Fahrenheit? What does number 1 really mean? And the most important, people challenges. Do not underestimate how much communication and collaboration is important. I love the speech from Valmet because it's really to the point. You need to care about the people. You need to communicate. You need really to have defined roles. How do you really do that? And lack of right skills, I put it under brackets. What is right skill? Who is defining that? You don't need to hire data scientists. It's enough if you have the tools and the data to make a person knowledgeable to do analytics, right? So all that is bringing me to this whole thing about personas. We talk about different roles into different factories. What happened also lately is like some people really need to be in the factory, some people want to do the job remotely. That also brings another interesting challenge for us. We do all talk about, yes, we want to know this, or we have that KPI, but it means different for different people. Are you an operator? Are you really a person who knows the maintenance perfect? Or are you maybe a system administrator? It's completely different. And that's something that you need to take in consideration, right? So at Novotek, the company I'm working for now, I've been there now for 2 years, but in the same area for many, many years. We kind of make it a little bit like love data, understand people, doesn't mean anything if you don't bring it to really wisdom. What do we do with it? We develop a kind of a process, a way of doing it, and we really, the past 1.5 years, we are running this with many customers in the countries we're working on. And it's all about really bringing it to the basics. You cannot do anything if you don't connect your people, your process, with the use case. I ran a meeting with one of our vendors some months ago. We ended up brainstorming with a company. They came up with 128 use cases. Was it a good workshop? Yeah, there was a lot of creativity. Did we do something afterwards? No, because they couldn't really make up their mind which use case is important. So, I mean, that's why I'm saying you need to have a use case, but you also need to actually agree this is the one we are all going to do first. So that's something that we are really, really talking to the customers about. What equipment do you have? What kind of data structure do you have? And my favorite, old age mindset. I'm old, yes, but I really want to learn new technology and how we can use it. And this is something we need to really take care of during that step that we call the connect phase in our approach. Next step, which is so important, not many people are talking about it yet. We started more and more now with our cloud partners. The whole thing about standardize your data and the processes. UNS, Unified Namespace, if you haven't heard about it yet, it's really all about speaking the same data language across all departments, shop floor, top, all systems, all sites. That's so important step. Many times rushing by. Nobody wants really to talk about it because it's a difficult one. And then, of course, it's really about, again, the ownership. When you go into this phase, what we do, yes, the money for the digitalization project is probably somewhere, but that person who owns the money, he also or she, they really need to understand where the data is coming from. So that's why when we say it should not be the ownership, should be close to where the data is actually produced, who is really the consumer and who is really the provider of the data. That's something that we're very much talking about there. Secure place. I don't need to talk to you more about that, but probably all of you are storing the data in a secure place. That's really something that we have learned now that we need to do. Nevertheless, we store too much. We will use it later. It's like my wardrobe with clothes. I have a lot of clothes. We'll probably use them later, probably never. So that's what I'm saying. It's really all about thinking what you store and how, and everybody should get access to it. One of the steps that actually I started with, it was SCADA, as I told you. It's all about visualize. What we visualize today has changed. If we have operators who are used to get it in one way, the dashboards, and we have other people now coming into our businesses, they want different dashboards. This is something also that people say, yeah, but we do already visualize. Yeah, but do you do it in the right way so that the person looking at it can take the decision quickly? And then, of course, I love this when people say, I want OEE. Okay, you want OEE. Why? Because I want to optimize my machines. Why? Because we had a customer about that, producing sausages. And he's like, yeah, because I need to know that I produce very, very many, 100%. And I'm like, so because you have people who wants to buy sausages? And he's like, oh, no, I don't care. I don't know how many. The forecast of actually how many, I really don't care. That's the supply chain person. We were sitting in the same room, and then supply chain person said, you know what? Let us talk first about the use case. Let us first understand what we want to optimize, why. Then we can say that we should actually invest in an OEE, because maybe we just have enough of efficiency. That's what I'm saying, bringing it back. You need to optimize, but that's not what you should. You can start the use case with thinking we need to optimize, but there are so many steps before, okay? And it's a wheel. That's the beauty of it. It's never actually going to end. So when we do this with customers, in all our countries, you see, this is Novotek, just the final slide. We are in all countries that were red marked, having a lot of customers in the industrial world, have been there 37 years, starting from hardware, SCADA, going up to all the way to the cloud now, of course. But what we always say, you start. You start small, you start in a group of people, you start with the stakeholders, and you really agree about the use case. And then it's really about setting the right expectations. Otherwise, there is no way you can do predictive maintenance of your truck when you have no clue, actually, what is happening from the beginning to the end. You scale. Every sprint that we do with customers, it's an iterative process all the time. But you also need to understand that you absolutely have to really make sure that you're evaluating every step. Are we getting the right data? Are we using the right technology? And most important, are the people happy about it? Do they feel that they are actually contributing? So absolutely, the last point was really about securing. We are absolutely there for you. Novotek as a company, just want to mention that before I leave here, it's not about taking on board big projects and being with you constantly all the time. We still believe in the power of your knowledge, your domain expertise. You know how to produce things, right? But we see ourselves like the data plumbers. We are the one making sure you're using the right data with the right people so that you get out most of it. It's all about your people, okay? So that's why, kiddos, that's all I had for now. I made it, so you can go for lunch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Veronika. So one quick question before I let you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would be your takeaway message for the audience? What is it that you would like them to remember from your presentation?
I would like you to remember one thing, as I said. Technology is changing, new things are coming up on board. Data we had forever and ever, we will always have data. What we need to remember is the young generation coming to us, and even the people working for us already, they are so important. And how can we make people feeling that they are important? Mm-hmm. How can we make people feeling that industrial world is amazing to be in? Everybody wants to be influencers, game developers. Honestly, developing apps for industry is amazing. And data. Data is cool, it's not dangerous, it's really easy, so you don't need to be very, very skilled, maybe in mathematics, because I think a lot of people get really scared. I'm talking at a lot of universities, and ladies especially. I really want to bring in more ladies into our world, but it's a little bit scary. It's like, oh no, data analytics, no. You really need to make it simpler.
Yes, you
but
want
care
everybody.
about people. Yes,
Yes,
I really want young people, not saying anything about us, old people, but we need people to feel that they are doing something meaningful. And all these things like, data, you will get your job, you will not get a job. It's not true. We need to reskill and upskill what we have, because it's hard to find talents today.
Yeah.
So keep your people, but connect them to your data.
Yes. Let's be brave and not be afraid. Yes,
exactly.
Okay. Thank you. And I would also like to let you know about one message that I got. It says that thank you for your inspiring presentation, which was spot on with data management challenges of today.
Super. Thank you.
So these are the good words for us to end. Thank you so much, Veronika.
Talk to you later over there. I'm here the whole day.
Yes, you will meet there. Thank you so much.